This is iRacing.
Well, 2 weeks ago, Paulie Podden told me he's getting old and the youth are getting faster. But the championship says 2 wins from 2 in the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Championship. But we move to the Temple of Speed, and with the ultimate test of patience around here, who is going to win at the Autodromo Nazionale in Monza? You will see it all live here on iRacing, brought to you from the Global Sim Racing channel. Hello, everyone. I am Craig King. With me in the booth is Ozzy Pohaka. In the camera box is Daniel Costello. He'll be using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now, Ozzy, this series has grown leaps and bounds, and more promotion comes out through the week. Another iRacing highlight getting posted onto the iRacing pages. This community is really enjoying that resurgence.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is, Craig. And I remember when I first joined the community some 10 years ago, and it was just a handful of individuals, well, a dozen of individuals keeping the Sunday races alive. And look what it has become, a global phenomenon on the sim racing scene that has grown leaps and bounds over the years, and we're just here to enjoy it.
We are here to enjoy it. We are absolutely loving the action that we get to bring you on a Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, this is Monza today. It has a lot to provide. We will go quickly, though, to our Global Sim Racing channel track guide, brought to you by Joe Peak.
Welcome to Monza. This track has a major place in racing history, not just for the legendary races, names, and cars that have been here, but because it was the third purpose-built car racing circuit in the world. It's often discussed and reverenced among fans, and especially by Italians who have nicknamed it the Temple of Speed. In fact, the Ferrari fans here are so famous for their devotion that they have been dubbed the Tifosi and never fail to show up in droves. While the real world offers only 3 feasible layouts to race on due to safety, in iRacing, the inclusion of the oval and the lack of safety concerns gives it a stunning 9 versions drivers can choose from. The modern GP layout is of course the most well-known, with its long history of hosting the Italian Grand Prix. But the oval and combined circuits allow those who thirst for more speed to satiate that craving with its insanely high banking. Indeed, incredible velocities are a staple of just about every version you can race here. Draft battles are not uncommon, no matter which car you're racing. But the inclusion of the chicanes makes using an outbraking maneuver a much more tricky way of overtaking. The circuit is notorious for drivers getting tangled up with each other while running side by side in these slow and cumbersome corners. In fact, one of the greatest dangers for drivers is the first few laps when the field is still clumped together and attempting to navigate them 2 and 3 wide. While there are other modern circuits with high-speed straights, the fact that Monza sits inside the Royal Park just north of Milan and is still tightly lined with trees heightens the sense of speed here. All in all, Monza is unmatched in its history, thrills, and great racing. Its significance in motorsports history and culture is sure to be unchallenged for years.
Well, Sunday wouldn't be complete without Joe Peak, and it's great to hear him on the track, guys, as per usual. There is Monza in the distance. Ozzy knows this track very well. I do as well. But for a Lotus 79, I think you know it a bit better than me, Ozzy.
Maybe a little bit better. I had a couple of good races here in the past. I love the circuit for these cars. because it's a different sort of challenge. These are ground effect cars. They are made to run close to the ground, and they are made to create a lot of downforce, considering this car is from 1978, mind you. But in here you have to do it a little bit differently. In here you have to gear it for top speed. That means the car becomes a different sort of challenge. It kind of goes back in time a few years maybe, or goes forward in time a few years maybe, in that it doesn't have that amount of grip. As you can see here, you have that chicane. You don't have the first chicane. You go straight into Curva Grande, and then as you approach the second chicane, that's really the first braking zone. You'll be doing well north of 300 km an hour. That's well north of 186 miles an hour as you approach the first braking zone. So it's gonna be a tremendous drafting battle, and a battle of really consistency, car control, and how you manage to handle that pressure, Craig.
Yeah, very interesting stat here. They did not run this car around Monza without a first chicane. It was kind of an S, the old school S that they had there, which we don't have nowadays. And of course, it can't be scanned as it no longer exists. This is the closest they'll get. And the closest they'll get to an F1 championship is our F1 championship in the standings, which, as you can see, we talked about it, Harley Partonen already leading 2 from 2. But Togo Hisada, he's also 2-2s from 2 as he's there in second position. Still very close though around the background. Look at Timothy Reed and Viekainen just tied up at the moment. Gabby Martinez as well, still knocking on the doors. Kartik Pai holding up the rest of the top 10 in 10th. Early days though, what about that F2 championship for those drivers under 3,000 iRating?
Yeah, let's look at the F2 standings. So we got Lukas Budik in the lead of that one, tied up with Aaron Blair. So we got a tie race at the front of the championship. Connor Levi in third, Alex King fourth, then you got Ben Summers fifth, and Stephen Healy in sixth position. Jonathan Stottlemyre in seventh, you got Byron Long eighth, Juanmi Cermenio in ninth, and Matthew Cockerham rounding out the top 10. And it's a great thing to see F2 drivers getting a chance to fight for a championship as well.
Yeah, it's also nice to see how they do the point standings here, done on average race time. And they also have a team championship, which if you join the iRacing forums and go onto the forums, you can sign up to have your own team here. You can be on your own, and you can have a partner. As you can see, Gunnar Fritzsche leads the way on his own in the Ferrari. The Martini still right behind, and it is oh so close behind. Vijay, Northern Winter, and Power Match all close together. Keep your eyes on Olympias. They're also back there. Real nice little thing they do in here, Aussie, with that little thing, having the team championship just to make you feel like you're really there in the old days.
Oh yeah, and the Classic Teams Championship, they call it the Classic Teams Championship, or CDC for short. And that's been a thing for as long as I've been a member of the Lotus 79 community, of the Classic Lotus Grand Prix community. And you can really sign up on the forums. They try to divide the teams evenly, and they try to get some variety on the tracks as well, because that was back in the days when not many people made their own paints. So you had like historic paint jobs, and then you could divide them among teams, among drivers, and it really looks like an authentic 1978 Formula One field as well.
Yeah, it's good to see. And here's the race details. It is round 3 of 12. 25 laps today around the Temple of Speed. Open setup. Bring your car. And hopefully the community, with their Discord and the forums, they also provide setups to help you as well. You bring your car, but you crash it, you're done for the day. There's no spare car. So just keep your eyes on that. Drive-through incidents at 17. Disqualification at 25. Monza, to me, always has that issue that you see it. It doesn't matter what series, somebody is going to be teetering on the edge of a drive-through. So that's one thing we have to keep our eyes out for. Hopefully, we don't see that today, though.
No, and with this car, I think it's a less of an issue, because it runs so low to the ground. Even at Monza, where the setups are raised quite a bit to maximize the top speed, to minimize effectively the drag. Even here, taking the curbs, especially in the chicanes, is always a decision. It's a conscious choice rather than something you have to do. And you really have to avoid it, because it upsets the car so easily if you take it too much. So as a consequence, you don't really take that many off tracks. We used to always laugh at there are certain tracks like Nürburgring, for example, the long layout, the combined circuit, where if you take an off track, you're done for the day because you're going to be in the wall. This is not quite that bad, but I don't think off tracks are going to be an issue here. But we'll keep keep our eyes peeled if there's somebody taking liberties with the racing lines.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see someone doing that as they are through into qualifying. Pole position at the moment belongs to the Japanese driver, Toga Husada, who's just finishing up his final lap time, and he does not improve on that, so all eyes will be on Partonen, but there won't be any eyes on him. He has already finished his lap time. The number one car, it's the Ferrari around Monza. Of course it's going up Frisha, as he's currently looking to have a good performance at the end. Down he will come into the curve of Bollica, hard on the brakes with these cars. You've got to downshift that car. You do have an H pattern in these cars, remember. Just really trying to work this. A little bit of a slide as he's fighting that car. He'll come across the line. He needs a good time here. Currently in sixth. He's going to race across for a 28.340. That's enough for P3.
Look at the Red Baron go, Gernot Fritsch. If there is one man who's been decorated with this car, who is a legend with this car, it's Gernot Fritsch. He is Mr. Lotus 79. He's been here always when I've been a part. He's won a dozen championships, and that's not an exaggeration. I can't remember the exact number. I don't think anybody does. I don't think numbers go that high. But he's such a great driver, and still great to see him as a part of this community, seeing the resurgence. Nobody deserves it more than he does, and I hope he does well today. As we're watching Dylan in that, I gotta say, beautiful purple machine heading through the last corner.
Yeah, if you know the classic community, you know Dylan loves this metallic purple TVR. He'll come across the line into P10. Interesting stat. We want to talk about Gernot Frischer. This, if my maths is correct, race 496 in the broadcast. And yeah, that's the way 155 wins. The next person on the list is Nuno Moreira. And a man could almost get close to him because Moreira, 39 wins. Partonen, 37 wins so far. He is so close to being second all time. He's looking forward to that as Javier Mosquera will come across the line. 13 seconds left to go. The run down to the Curva Grande, or the Curva Pisanio as they now call it. That's going to be very interesting when we get to the grid.
Yeah, it is going to be, because you can see it there, it essentially goes into a bottleneck right as you start. It narrows down. You can go 4 wide right off the start, maybe 5 wide for a bit if you get a particularly good start, but then it narrows down into a bottleneck, and you have to get it quickly down to 3 wide or 2 wide as you head through the Curva Grande.
Let's get to the grid. Toga Husada, pole position. Partonen will be beside him, and with Gernot Frischer in P3. And then Jack David Spickett with a fantastic time for 4th, followed by Timothy Reed in 5th, and Vimo Viekainen in 6th. Kartik Pai will take 7th, with James Palsland in 8th. Pavel Dozal will be 9th, and Dylan Freckleton will round out the first page in 10th.
And then we get to the second page of starters. It's going to be Sean Langton in 11th, Nick Thiessen in 12th position. That's a familiar name for many. Ross Banfield in 13th, Kjell Einar Svensson in 14th, and Mitchell Ian Green in 15th, ahead of Lukas Budic, Alessandro Paricci, and Jarrett Lee. You got Philip Coulthard starting 19th, and Barry West, a serious legend, in 20th position.
Got legends at the front, legends in the middle, and Daniel Cranfus will be 21st with Daniel Gallus in 22nd beside him. Then Tyler Green will be 23rd with Ryla Turncourt in 24th. Javier Mosquera, we just saw in qualifying there, 25th, with Jean-Francis Boussache in 26th. Kevin Parrish will be 27th with David Valero, the last at the time, qualifies in 28th. Jason Clapper once again starting at the back with Tobias Naha right beside him as well into 30th as the cars are getting ready to grid. I think it's the top guys that are yet to grid. It's not like the real world where they'll probably be first on the grid when it comes to that procession, that sighting lap. But there is Toga Husada on the front. You'll just see beside him should be a Partonen. These two had a fantastic battle 2 weeks ago. And guess what? It was Togo who started in pole, and it was Partonen who was beside him in second. So it's going to be very interesting what happens this time, because at the start there, Partonen got by. And as you see, Togo has to go on the outside. This will be interesting. 1 car left to grid up, it looks like. We're all getting ready. Barney's got the green flag waiting, and he's going to hit the lights very shortly. 25 laps of Monza in the Lotus 79s for the Sunday Grand Prix Championship is away. And what a start for Togo Hisada. Brilliant. So much so that Partonen has had to yield straight away. He will take that Dylan Frackleton in the background. Really fantastic start, but the slipstream is already strong. As we come into the Curva Grande, side by side go the two championship contenders. And right away, it is Partonen who takes it. He will get the lead as they come down to the second variante. It's the only chicane they got today. Look at the background. More drivers trying to hustle and bustle for positions. Jack David Spickett couldn't get past Gunnar Friedrich.
Yeah, and Spickett and Friedrich, they hit each other. They hit each other exiting the first chicane, but they make it out all right. And Friedrich takes up the inside. He was a little bit tentative going through the first chicane, I think, and that almost cost him dearly, but they make it out just about. But this gives Partonen and Hisada a great chance to get away from the rest of the pack. They are essentially running away. The draft, mind you get draft from about 6 or 7 tenths away with this car. So keep an eye on the live timing on the left-hand side of your screen as we watch these battles as they head to the Astana.
Yeah, we did see just quickly Luke Rapusik, he had an issue with the cold tyres going into the first Lesmo and caught the rear of somebody, lost control, and he went off instead. More drivers going side by side. I did see Ross Banfield almost getting in a battle as well, but nothing at the moment. There's Jack David Spickett, there's Ross Banfield. He's trying to get past Dylan Frackleton. You can brake late in these cars, unable to, and this is what I like to see. Some drivers, they like to trim out the car a little bit, make it slide a little bit. Some drivers really like to make it planted. Lap one's over. They got to do this 24 more times.
Yeah, and it's cold tires as well, and they are not quite heated up yet either. So this is really tentative time for these drivers to try and get the car underneath them while you got potential like 3 or 4 cars fighting for position all around you. We see Hisada there trying to look to the outside. Nothing happens there. And I think they're now realizing the situation. Look, Partonen and Hisada, there's no point fighting yet. Just run away from the rest of the pack, run away from Gernot, run away from Kimmo, run away from Jack, and then settle it out at the end. That's their plan right now, but we'll see if the rest of the pack, the peloton, as we talk in cycling terms, is gonna let them do that.
Yeah, we don't have a Podgar out here today, but we've got our own Partonen and Hisada leading the front. Philip Coonard, fantastic start for him. At one stage, he was +6. He's +5 at the moment as he is trying to battle Svensson, trying to keep up. They're really crazy, the speed. They're just almost touching 300 kilometers an hour before they get here into the Variante Ascari. That they get 320 behind the car. Just goes to show, because this is Jack David Spickett using that slipstream to his advantage. He's got to go around the outside of Viakainen. Not going to work for him. Maybe the over-under, though. Yeah, that's a great pickup from Aussie. The over-under right away. Looks like Viakainen just washed out a bit too much.
Yeah, but he's going to get the draft from Gernot down the straight line, just a little bit off it because he's following the racing line. And let's see if Gernot, the wily old fox, yes, look what Gernot's doing. He's going to switch the draft to whoever is behind. Try to keep those guys behind him side by side as long as possible. Why does he do that? So that they would lose time heading through Curva Grande, and so that he would be safe from any attack heading into the chicane. Really brilliant driving from the old man. Well, not the old man, the veteran.
I'll tell you what, Timothy Reed out of nowhere just decided, you want to do that? Okay, I'll do this. And he makes a mistake and he goes to the overtake. And now Jack David Spickett, he's going to get that overtake into Lesmo 1 onto Friedrich. He gets it stuck. Fantastic. A slide from Timothy Reed. I did see a lot of gravel on that outside of Lesmo 1. Maybe just caught a little bit of the gravel out there, but a really good move there. Timothy Reed really wanted to get that. We're going to look at a quick GSRC replay. That is Luca at the start of the race. A little bit of a moment there. It's so unfortunate what happened. Just catching, I believe that was Pavel Dozau he caught. So tough. We talked about the cold tide. Lesmo 1, not usually the place you look for drama at the start of a race at Monza.
No, but it kind of makes sense here, because mind you, that is right after effectively the first braking zone of the track. That is the second chicane. And then as you file out, you just get sort of bundled up with other drivers with cold tires. He was lucky to miss the wall there, really. Just stopped less than a meter short of it. Was able to keep going, sadly, way back in the pack. But here you can see Nick Kissenten and Kartik Pai, two veterans of his historic series. And we're going to see them battle it out for the 7th place. Meanwhile, fight for the lead.
Fight for the lead. Toyo Hisada's got the lead back. and he's got the lead back into the Curve Grande. McFisson has not got that move on Kartik Pai. You can see it when you go to the timing tower on the side of the stream. And a great move there from Togo. Had the run coming out of the Parabolica, makes it stick. This is what he needs now, and I wouldn't be surprised if Partonen didn't fight it, because this is that peloton effect, Ozzy. You kind of want to just keep everyone together. A slowdown for Jack David Spickett in the background. He's going to be losing a bit of time there.
Yeah, I was seeing in the background here, just went very aggressively over the curve. Meanwhile, Thyssen is going to try it into less mode too, potentially compromising the exit of Kartik Pai was his plan there, and maybe get a run down the Ascari. You can see this battle right behind the leaders. It is getting on. Fritsch has run away a little bit from Viljakainen, then Spickett, who took slowdown, is having to fight back Timothy Reed and Kartik Pai just a second behind him. So you can see this back, and you can see it kind of forming more and more, and getting into this sort of three-car pack, which is always very difficult to manage, and 3 wide behind them as well.
Oh, he almost fought for a moment. Freckleton was going to try that free wide. Hey, late break, he almost does that, and he forces Thyssen wide. That could be a little bit of an advantage for him, because that inside's going to be compromised. He can't use the slipstream, but for a moment, he almost went for a buy one, get one free. And look at the stream of cars they've got behind, and look at the leaders side by side once again. You knew when these drivers had that battle 2 weeks ago at Road America. You knew when you saw it on the socials you'd have to get more. How do you like it? I'll tell you what, Partonen retakes the lead.
Yeah, he does, and got a point about that soon, but let's watch this one first. Kartik Pai and others heading into the first chicane. Let's see what happens here. Oh, it's gonna be a position change. Nick Thyssen passing there Dylan Freckleton at least, and then you see further behind them Sean Langton involved in this battle in 12th place. Pausland just ahead of him, and then Svensson and Kornhardt involved in that one as well. Langton in that white car, you can see in front of that queue. And just look at the pack of cars, and that's the thing. Unless somebody makes a major mistake, unless somebody just essentially holds up the pack, this pack will not separate, not for a few more laps. And it's at times like this when drivers who are experienced, I was gonna say like Kartik Pai, but he's struggling a little bit right now. Those with good racecraft, those with experience from these draft battles are gonna make hay. You can make so many positions when you time your passes right, when you get the draft right, when you know when to attack, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. That's the key right now. It's a purely tactical battle, of course, at 300 km an hour.
Yeah, we did see it. Ross Banfield managed to get around the outside of Kartik Pai going into Ascari. I think that was Pai just giving a little bit of a room. He's going to go for this move right away. He'll go side by side. Eyes as well, also on the leaders. Nothing's happening in the lead battle as Pai will go to look to see if he can make a move. It's going to be tough. He'll have that inside cut off there as Freckleton is ahead of him. It's Ross Banfield, beside. Still got a little bit of a line here, does Banfield. And last of the late breakers, they almost interlock on the tires. Both of them slide around. Real good battling there. And a mistake! Harrison goes around. That is so unfortunate. Pai just got a little bit squirrely off the throttle. I think that may have been some debris on the ground.
Yeah, and Kartik Pai just getting a little bit squirrely on the exit. He was having a side-by-side battle with Ross Banfield, as you saw them go side-by-side to the corner, and then getting loose on the exit, which is what happens so often when you get stuck to that outside line. And driver behind just essentially couldn't avoid the situation with the exit of the corner. And that's one of the things we were talking about racecraft. Yes, it's unfortunate, but a more experienced driver, as you can see another replay of the Raspudic situation. We'll get back to that later. Let's see what happened to Luke Raspudic first. And this is not the first lap situation. This is a separate incident. Yeah, Daniel Gallas spun in front of him, and then Luke Raspudic. How unlucky can one man be? And that car, if it survived lap 1, it didn't survive that one. Those torsion bars, that suspension is gone.
Right, lead battle once again. This time Hassada's got the run. He got the run coming out of the Parabolica. He will retake the lead. And that's good to see. You want to see these guys switching while these two have been battling. They've managed to extend the lead to 3 seconds over Friescher, which is impressive. Remember last week, Friescher had the battle with Hassada, who had to come up the field. And that allowed Partonen to have a 5-second lead. And he just kept that lead. Today, it's a little bit different. Partonen, during the week, he called Hassada the fastest man on iRacing with an 8-pattern shifter. He really sings the praises of this man who we've seen a lot in other videos, in other series. We look at Daniel Gallis as well, side by side. A lot of praise for Hosada, for what he drives in the Lotus 49, for what he drives in the VCR, in the IMSA Vintage. But as you see with Daniel Gallis just losing out control, one thing Togo doesn't do, and I'm going to knock on my head and knock on wood there, is lose control.
No, yeah, and mind you, he's a very, very young driver as well. He's like, I think he's still under 20 years old or something, which feels odd because it feels like he's been around for ages, Togo Hisada. And one thing about the H pattern, when you mentioned the H pattern gearbox, these cars have a 5-speed H pattern. It's a dog clutch gearbox, meaning that you don't have to use clutch necessarily on downshifting, and you lift off when you upshift and you blip the throttle when you downshift. And it's also a dog leg gearbox, meaning the first gear is down and left. Second and third, straight line. Fourth and fifth, straight line. Same kind that you find, for example, in the BMW touring cars of the 1990s.
I see what Viacaida's doing. He almost taking a page out of Gunnar Preacher there. That may backfire on him because these three are now all bunched up together. And Timothy Reed is on the outside here in that red car. Going to see if he can do some light braking here. It's not going to work. He's going to have to battle Jack Davis Pickett to hold on to that P5, and JDS just decides to hold on to it, and that's really good mind games because that is checked. Timothy Reed tries to carry too much speed through the chicane, loses out slide. He's going to lose another position to Nick Fisson. You're going to feel like he may want to use that. Javier Mascara's also gone around. He was up 10 places today, and it looks like he's just had a small moment coming through that chicane. Remember, the sausage curves are still there. Unlike in real life nowadays, very dangerous for these cars.
Very dangerous indeed, especially because you got the essentially you got ground effect, so that means you got those skirts that are going low down to the ground, and those skirts can get damaged really easily, even from normal curb strikes, let alone those sausage curves. And once that skirt is damaged, you lose a lot of downforce, and you lose a lot of efficiency in the car. Back in the day, it was like half a second on a normal race lap. So it has a massive difference. And you had to make decisions when you were creating the setup, optimizing the setup. Okay, do I want to make sure I don't damage the car, or do I want to make sure do I know that I will damage the car and I will just try to make a low slung setup anyway, as Pauli retakes the lead. And gonna say something here, Craig. These guys are doing a brilliant thing, because what they're doing, they're effectively swapping the lead and being faster that way.
Yeah, there's something I've always talked about when you come to a slipstream track. Use each other to either pull ahead or pull back to the leaders, and that is what these guys are doing. They're really smart. They both know each other's. They know how each other work, despite Togo's not a regular until this season. He decided to commit a lot of time to the 79th this season, and it is really showing the pedigree. He understands what he's got to do. The respect these two give each other, it's great to see. And the respect everyone gives each other. Let's not just single those two out. Everyone in this field, they love racing against each other. They love the respect they get on a Sunday afternoon. They've already done an official race with everyone before this. Now they're doing another. Is Jarrett Lee. He's having a battle. This is for 17th. He's trying to battle Barry West. He's got Tyler Green behind him as well. There's battles on battles everywhere. You love to see it.
Absolutely, and that's not an easy customer you got there. Barry West, one of the most experienced drivers in this car, a real veteran of the series, and he may be one of the older drivers in the field, but he is by no means slow. The fact that he's still in the top split, still doing his stuff, is mesmerizing to see, and he never gives up easy, does he? Barry is always one to take a battle to the end, one of the toughest drivers to overtake in this series, and he doesn't care who you are, and that's the great thing about him, because a lot of the times you see in various series, if you see a number one in the front of a car, you assume that, okay, that guy's going to be faster than me anyway, and maybe they are, but guess what, he's not going to assume that he's going to battle you anyway, as we see them going side by side. Daniel Cranfus there, side by side with Parigi, heading through Curva Grande, and still side by side.
Still side by side, they'll come to the braking, and Cranfus takes that. He's going to make sure he slows it down. Rode the sausage curve a little bit, but I think Alessandro did not get it done. I think in the background we may have saw a slowdown as well for another driver. I think that may have been Tyler Green or Jarrett Lee, one of those two, who decided to take a off track and a slowdown on this fantastic rear camera, kind of like the rear hoop in some respect that you just see behind them. Pagridi with Barry West still battling so tough out there. You cannot count out Barry West. I think he's got some flames on the car. And now last I checked, Ozzy, flames at about 2/10 to the car.
Oh, absolutely. That's a Samsung livery. I remember those ones. That's one of the authentic liveries once again. I think they used to race that one in Formula 1 as well. Trying to remember the exact team count right now. Let's forget about it. Someone can look it up. Either way, those, I remember racing that exact livery back in, I think it was 2016. So it brings back some great memories as Togo Hisada retakes the lead, and they have now built up a 3-second gap. But I tell you what, and despite the fact that these guys are swapping the lead, despite the fact that they are using each other to get away, Gernot is not going anywhere.
No, just look at that. Gernot just set with no help. Just set one of the fastest lap times. In fact, Gernot's last time was a 1:29.029. For context, Partonen set the fastest lap, a 1:29.019, when he retook the lead 2 laps ago. He did that with that slipstream. That is absolute madness that you've got Frischer right behind 3 seconds. These two at the front are not battling hard. They are literally chopping and changing, swapping, working together. It is peloton racing if it was the Grand Tour. Gernot right behind them. He is slowly catching, and I would be really interested to see his pace, because he's already on his own, pulled 3 seconds ahead of these guys. Viekainen still battling Jack David Spickett.
Yeah, and also just gonna give a little bit of a shout out to one of our viewers as well, who was immediately on it with the information that it's a Samsung Shadow DN09. Jan Lammers drove it in 1979. So there you go.
Oh, this is what I love about the community. This is what I love about the iRacing community. Everybody is together. They work together. They love racing together. This is why we love the Lotus 79s. Everyone is so friendly, and this is what you see. Everyone coming together as Togo Hisada. He takes the fastest lap again. He didn't have that slipstream until he overtook Viekainen. He's on the defense right now, and he's just going to have to hope Jack David Spickett doesn't go for late braking. New setup for his sim race this weekend. Really paying off for him, but he is down 1 position today. He's got to watch out for Viekainen. Very interesting. And I will say, Ozzy, here comes the interesting question. Lap 12 and 25, all these drivers can chop and change and swap positions. When do they start playing chess with each other? Because they know whoever's first when you start the last lap might not be first when you end it.
Yeah, I mean, certainly in that 4th place battle, at least, as we're watching the battle for 12th right now between Langton and Coulthard, in that battle for 4th place between Viekainen and Spickett, it's really one of those things where you expect some sort of chess games to happen. Both are experienced enough to try and do some tricks, and Jack Spickett is certainly a clever driver, someone who will try to pull a hood over your head, but I don't think the lack of visibility is mattering too much to Viekainen, because he is Kimmo, a man of the midnight.
He's a man of the midnight. He doesn't need a hood right now. He just needs to put on the hat, put on the glasses, and say, deal with it. And he is really giving it to Jack David Spickett. Pushes it a little bit wide. And now he just has to wait Parton and take the fastest lap. You're going to see Viekainen. He's going to come aside. He's going to take that. Well, Jack David Spickett, sorry, aside. He's going to take that as well. You're not missing anything with the lead battle, because they're not doing anything out there either. This is the one we're looking at on board the drone camera. But interesting enough, he lifts. This is what I was talking about. Jack, if you're listening to the broadcast, turn it off. You've got some racing to do.
Oh yeah, and that's a clever thing from Jack. I told you he's a clever driver. He knows what happens when you go inside through that corner. Because Curva Grande is not an easy flat corner, not with these cars, with these setups. They run so low on downforce and so high on ground clearance that it's not an easy flat corner, and it's not easy flat, especially side by side. So if you're on the inside, you really have to lift off. And maybe he wasn't feeling quite like going side by side through there, and he also realized that they would lose time and potentially allow the likes of Thyssen and Freckleton and Reed and so on to catch them up. Oh, and there's a mistake, and Parigi gets the pass done.
Yeah, a bit too wide there for Cranford around Lesmo 1, and then a mistake for Lesmo 2 for Pagini as they go on. Look on picture in picture. Lead battle changing as well. Side by side going down to Ascari. Side by side going into the Parabolica. Togo Hisada holds on to the lead for the moment. Good defense there from Prigidi. He holds on to this against Daniel. He gets it as well. This is interesting though. Hisada had to defend against Partonen going into the Parabolica. This surely should be Partonen to make the move. Barry West getting involved in this little battle. They may go 3 wide. He's deciding against it. These two going really hard. Leader's going really hard. Something's got to give. Side by side they go. And Partonen with the inside on that picture-in-picture. He'll retake the lead. Barry West is still looking as these guys go side by side coming out the Parabolica.
That livery and Barry West go so well together. He's gonna go 3 wide. Yep, split through the middle. No, there is a gap. Don't lift, come on. There is a gap, but he doesn't quite go for it. You can see it. You can see the car, the track bottlenecking as they head through what is a chicane in these modern days. And this is a fantastic onboard of these guys, Parici and Kranefus, as Kranefus now gets ahead with that Nokia livery, and Barry West tries to go to the inside as well. A little bit late on that move. Thankfully, no contact made, and you can see as soon as you put wheel wrong, the car's gonna get loose, and thankfully for Barry West, no harm done there. However, he drops off the line, and that is gonna potentially lead him to lose a position here, because he's really loose now off the Lesmos. That's 1 done. That's maybe 2 done for Barry West. Mosquera gets past him as well. Green got past him earlier, and now he's got troubles with Lee.
Got troubles as well, and these guys are still, it's an elongated train here. Maybe Barry can work with these guys to get back up together. A little bit of a mistake there from Tyler Gray if we get back on board with this battle for P5 and P4. And Jack David Spickett gets a really good run coming out the Parabolica once again. Sounds like the same thing I've said for the last 15 laps, but it's the way it goes. Again, he lifts. I can see if he was going for an overtake, he would go for it right now. Deciding against it. Real good, smart play here. I think he realizes he's keeping the speed with Nick Fisson behind. Virkainen is trying to catch Frisha. None of these guys can catch Frisha today. He is just on another level. I feel like he's just accepting where he is right now.
Yeah. So Spickett there just waiting, biding his time. He's not in a hurry anywhere. Meanwhile, these guys are in a hurry, almost touching wheels, heading through Curva Grande. With these cars at 300 km an hour, guys, that's dangerous. I don't think Barry West cares about dangerous. He is the fastest octogenarian I've ever seen behind the wheel of a racing car. And there you go, Barry now stuck to the outside, taking it a little bit more tentatively. You're over those loose marbles, over that trash and everything, all sorts of rubbish that is on the outside of the racing line. So you have to be really careful. But once again, once the straight door opens up, Barry finds the fun pedal, finds the throttle, and goes to the outside into Ascari. He's just giving us a show here.
He's just giving you a little bit of a show, but he doesn't mind. He loves it. A slide for Tyler Green going into the Ascari chicane. Holds on to it, and more sliding. He's overheated those tires. Barry West is going to go for this around the outside. It's going to be very tough for any driver around the outside, but he's going to make this stick. Other things happening as well. Lead battle's not changing. That's David Spickett not changing. It's all eyes on Barry West. Tries it around the outside. The camera does not help him. He sticks it, though. He sticks it. He almost made that work. Javier Mosquera's had a bit of a moment. I think he's had a crash, or he's had a disconnect. Barry's still trying. He can't get it. A little bit of slipstream, maybe. I don't know. It is all going on.
Yeah, Kartik Pai as well, making a move here up to 10th position, passing Svensson there, heading into the, losing position to Banfield, and following him through that corner as I got my cars mixed up. Regardless, there's battles all over the place. Now, what happened there earlier, I think it was a mechanical issue rather than a crash or a disconnect. Whatever the case, Tyler Green runs wide through the chicane and allowing Barry West once again a chance to go around the outside into Lesmo. You tried it twice, Barry. It didn't work. It's not going to work third time around either, but he is a very, very pig-headed driver in all the right ways. He's going to keep trying until it works, and he's also got a car that is absolutely flying down the straight line. Just look at this side-by-side. Much better exit, but still not able to get the pass done as we move back to Timothy Green there, who is still in this same battle with I think that is Dylan Freckleton. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we went away from Barry West. He had a bit of a slide. He lost control. Still going. This is Virkainen losing the P4 away. It was a slowdown. He went too far over that first curve. Unfortunately, unable to do much about it. you see Dylan Freckleton. You know it's Dylan Freckleton. It's in that metallic purple that is oh so bright and oh so reflective. We love seeing it. Battling with Timothy Reed. Timothy, give him credit. Held it around the outside of the Curva Grande. They're going to try and go 2x2 into the chicane. They do go 2x2 into the chicane. Brilliant driving from both drivers.
Wow.
Dylan Freckleton holds on to that. That takes a lot of commitment. That takes a lot of teamwork. That takes a lot of guts, though.
It takes guts and it takes mutual respect as well. And you can see Barry here. He may have been loose a couple of times, but he still hasn't given up the battle here on the outside in the second chicane, or the first chicane rather, on this configuration. It's never going to work out from there. Once again, compromising his exit and once again being under pressure from behind, but fence it off just nicely. Barry here maybe just needs to get a bit of a rhythm on. I think his tires have overheated at this point just slightly from all the sliding around, and it can be very difficult to get those tires back. You can get them back, but you really need to take it easy for a couple of corners, and that's not a simple thing to do when you're fighting for a position constantly. Meanwhile, these guys, they are battling, the two are battling in the lead. Once again, you got Hisada moving to the inside, and Felice just waiting, biding his time behind them like a shark circling round a boat, just waiting for these guys to forget about all this tactical stuff and start battling so he can catch them up.
Yeah, look at Nick Thiessen as well. He takes the fastest lap. He was 2/10 faster than these two. Very interesting to see because all of a sudden, everyone started to find their pace. This could be an interesting finish because we've still got a lot of laps left to go. We're lap 18 off 25. We're 8 to go, as you can see on the GSRC timer. But these drivers, Friedrich may be 3 seconds behind. Keep taking a tenth out. He keeps taking a tenth out. I'm not saying he can do it right away as we keep on board with Nick Thiessen. Not saying he can do it right away. However, if these two at the front start battling, and Aussie, they will start battling, this may be a free car fight at the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm not saying Gernot Fritzsche is a robot or anything. But all I'm saying is that he can't go through a metal detector even without his clothes. So, you know, he's the kind of guy who is putting in the same lap time, lap after lap after lap, in that constant curve of improvement. I don't see him making mistakes very often. I've driven behind him, I've driven against him, I've driven in front of him. He's the most terrifying opponent you can have. And incidentally, he is also the kind of guy that if you're behind him, if you are 1 second behind Gernot Fritzsche, you are in the best Lotus 79 driving school money can buy. You learn so much driving behind that man. And he's just, I say he's terrifying in the sense that he is just so consistent. He will never fall away. You can never count on a mistake by Gernot Fritzsche, but he's also a very fair driver who does what he needs to do to win, but he is always fair, he always gives you space, always respects the rules and other drivers. Such a great ambassador for this series as we see the fight for 5th place heating up.
Yeah, Nick Thiessen tried to make that move, couldn't make it work, but he's able to get a good bit of a run around the outside of Lesmo 1. That's some good driving, and there's still a little bit of an overlap, but this is not a corner. You want to try and send it into late, and Viekainen has to yield. And Thiessen goes up to 5th. Good little battle there. His mistake forced another mistake out of Chemo, so that's actually a little bit of a help for him there. So that puts him up to 7th. This is Timothy Reed. Well, if we're looking at Timothy Reed, he's had a moment. And he's coming in with Dylan Freckleton. He just can't carry that much speed, and he catches on the sausage curve. There is a certain time, Aussie, when the downforce here says no, and I think that was it.
Yeah, when you're going to very low speed, under braking, these cars run quite stiff, so they don't have much mechanical grip. At the same time, a lot of it is in the rear. And so when you come into a slow corner like that, with the setups they run at this track, it's always a precarious situation. And when you know that you're a little bit late on the brakes or fighting side by side, you have to be extra careful about not going down the gears too fast, because you can lock up the rear axle so easily and you can lose the rear end so easily, and there's very little you can do at that point. Meanwhile, guess what? Barry West is side by side.
Yeah, and guess what? Barry West tried to go around the outside, did not work. However, this is the Parabolica, and that over-under can sometimes work, and I don't think Parrish has got the slipstream he wants. And look at Barry catching, and the car is now on rails. He'll come across this now, side by side, but he's got the outside. But Ryan's decided ahead, I want to take this line. I want to help Barry. Let's help Barry. Barry gets that position. Why not? He's up to 19th position, +1 for the day. It's a fantastic drive for him, and you've just got to applaud not just the fact that the way he's battling, you've just got to applaud the battles he's getting. Don't tell curse the man, he's gone a bit too hot into the chicane though.
Yeah, he was up a little bit more, and Tersh Parrish once again looking to the inside in Lesmo 1, and poor Barry is going to be outside of this corner all day long. He's not going to be stuck in the middle with you, he's just stuck in the outside looking in and losing that position for now. You can see how the car doesn't want to turn into the corner anymore, and that just speaks to me about the state of those tires, which have been abused for almost 20 laps in these battles. But Barry once again just going to the inside into Ascari. Why not? Just thinks better of it, because that's the kind of corner you don't really want to go side by side through. And Barry, despite being a hard customer, he's also clever enough to realize that that may not be the best play right now.
Yeah, not the best play with 5 to go. You got to pick your opportunities. That's what Viekainen's doing on Nick Fisson. He's going to go for this. Ross Banfield's going to be side by side with Dylan Freckleton behind them as well. And this is going to be an easy move for Viekainen. We might be able to just see that battle behind as well with Banfield, Freckleton. They go in and Banfield takes it. No, he's got it. He's done what Reed did. Went a bit too hot. That'll be a slowdown as well. Going over the sausage curves is not going to help either. Not what he wants to see. But here's the key thing. We talked about it. 5 to go. Leaders are still together. Friedrich cannot catch up to them. Something's got to give sometime, Ozzy. When do you start attacking?
Whenever you think it's the right time. You want to time it to the start of the last lap. I don't think the run from Parabolica to the line is long enough for you to get a pass done, not unless you manage to somehow force the driver ahead of you to the inside line, to defend the inside line. So you either go past on the main straight, heading to the last lap, and then defend for your life, or you fake a move to the inside of Parabolica, and then you force the guy to defend the inside line. You go to the outside, you brake early, you go for a classic over-under. That's the way you can get a pass done into the finish line. I think those two are the best opportunities that we have here. However, knowing how these guys can battle, if you haven't seen these guys battling, go take a look at the highlights. It's absolutely epic. I think they can start it anywhere, like right now, for example.
Yeah, like right now, they tried it, and you saw Togo immediately put his car in the middle of the track to tell Pauli, not today, not today. I just want to just hold on for this a little bit longer. Here's something interesting we got to talk about. You saw Partanen. He went purple, 128.524. Hisada, 128.630. Gernot Friedrich, I'm still going to keep my eyes on Gernot Friedrich. Anything can happen. 128.603 with no slipstream. He's still catching with these two. He's still matching them. The road boss, as Ozzy was saying, is still holding on. But after this corner, one more corner, they'll be free to go. Barney, he's starting to get a little bit twitchy. He really wants to bring that white flag out.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to do the flag waving old school style, just standing on the side of the track and waving the flag. Maybe not the best idea. Either way, let's hope Barney's got those hands ready and all warmed up, those wrists warmed up, because whoever wins this race is going to deserve a celebration. We are here on the iRacing channel. It's a great showcase, a great opportunity for these guys to show what they got. A great chance for all our lovely viewers and the community members as well to see what Lotus 79 has to offer, the Classic Lotus Grand Prix has to offer, and see the kind of guys that they can potentially challenge as Partanen looks to the inside.
Yeah, that was a late move into the inside, but Hisada left the door open. But there is a little bit of overlap because he's done this a bit too late at Partanen, and Hisada's going to try and get late on the brake to take it. They will go side by side through the chicane, and around the outside of the chicane is Partanen. He gets it done around the outside of a corner. Stop me if I've heard that before from 2 weeks ago. Partanen is a tough cookie to crack. Togo Hisada realizes it's not going to be any sort of cookie he's used to. He really has to work him out.
Yeah, meanwhile, Kartik Pai is right behind Dylan Freckleton in that beautiful purple TVR livery. And against him is a livery from ye olden days of Formula One as well. We're looking at the Lotus from the late 1980s as opposed to late 1970s. Either way, Freckleton holds on for now. Ross Banfield, poor Ross Banfield, making that mistake on the chicane a few laps ago, is still trying to hold on, hoping these guys battle. Gonna tell you one thing, Partanen and Hisada went through the chicane side by side once. Fritzsche caught half a second.
Yeah, he might catch some more because Hesada out of nowhere, he's caught him off guard. He wasn't expecting this with Partanen. Hesada's taken the lead coming out the Parabolica. This is chess moves right now because he realizes even if he loses this lead, okay, what are we down to? 2 to go. Partanen will have the lead. Well, next lap's the last lap, isn't it? Who will be leading into the next lap? It might be Partanen. These two are starting to go. 2.7 is the gap between them and Gernot Frischer. That could be all it is done. There's still an overlap here for Hesada, and he gets a really good run on the final part of the Curva Grande, and into the chicane they will go. There's no overlap this time. Maybe Hesada trusts himself, but I don't think taking the lead with 2 to go was the right call there.
Yeah, maybe not, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think Partanen has his own plans, I think Hesada has his own plans, but at the same time, knowing Pauli, what is the most, by the book decision may not be the decision that he makes. Because you also want to catch the guy off guard. Meanwhile, Nick Thyssen there on the top right of your screen, just going a little bit wide at Lesmo, trying to pass around the outside, and he's going to try and go at Viljakainen. Once again, Kimmo Viljakainen holding on to 5th place for now, but for how much longer? That remains to be seen. Thyssen showing that experience in this car. One of the crucial people behind Classic Teams Championship is Nick Thyssen, hosting the website for so long, and he would love to get a top 5 here on the grand stage as they head to the last lap.
Yeah, Barney's getting ready. White flag is coming out. 90 seconds to go for these two. 90 seconds to see if Partanen goes free for free this season, or maybe Hesada get that first victory of the season, and he's got quite a gap to him. This is going to have to be almost like DRS in the modern day F1. They didn't need it back in the 70s. They got all they need. The door is open. He's left the door open. Partanen's going to get this through. But again, a lot of overlap is still there. It's starting to get a really good run on the exit of the Curva Grande. But who gets in there first? It's Partanen. And Hesada with a slide. And maybe he can get this gone. He gets the run, decides against it this time. And that's defense there from Partanen. We know what Hesada can do. He likes that move now. Everyone's seen it in the background. Viekainen getting past Nick Vincent. We're on board with the drones here, with the rear cameras. Every camera we've got, Daniel is providing it for you. Down they come one last time under the old school oval track. Can there be a move? Is there going to be a run through Ascari? I'll tell you what, Hesada, he's baiting a move. I think that's a mistake. He's got a bit of a slide, but it's also a slide from Partanen. This could be a sprint to the line. He doesn't have the gap coming down into the Parabolica. Partanen's going to hold it off. That could be a blessing for Hesada. This could be a grandstand finish. This could be a drag finish. Hard onto the brakes they go. Late braking from Hesada to the inside. Has he cooked it? No, he still got it. That's side by side. If they come through to the line, this is going to be a racing moment number 2. And I believe it's going to be Partanen. It is Partanen. What a finish. The result, 0.013.
Are you kidding? Have you ever, aside from last week?
Never. What a finish. Viekainen will come on by. He takes P6. Vincent got that at the end. Timothy Reed, these guys still in a little battle. Kartik Pai, he's had a bad finish for this race. He will finish in 10th. He lost 2 positions in that lap. And then Timothy Reed will get one. Ross Banfield gets it as well. All the drivers still coming by. A few more other battles coming on. Ryan Turncott, he's trying to get 17th away from Jarrett Lee. Don't think he's going to get it with a little bit of a slide. He does not. Barry West will be the last man to try and do it. But Barry West's tyres, it's a little bit too much. I believe that's going to be it. That is officially the closest finish in Lotus 79 history.
That was absolutely amazing. These guys showing us all their tricks. Somebody get Greg King at Wix. And at Wix, why not?
I'll have a chocolate. Any chocolate is available. Any brands are available. I will have a drink, definitely. What a finish. What a finish by these two again. And I don't know what Partanen said on the radio this time, but I remember what he said after Road America, and it's not broadcastable. We'll go through the results, and it's Pauli Partanen winning. And look at that. On the screen, it's 0.14. In the sim, it's 0.013. Regardless, it is still the closest result ever in Lotus 79. Gernot Frischer, man, how close did he get at the end there? 1.5 behind in third. And Jack Davis Pickett started fourth and fought back to keep that fourth position. Nick Vissen up 7 places to fifth. Kimmo Viekainen will take 6th. Dylan Frackleton will take 7th. And Kel Enner Svensson, we never talked about him, up 6 places to 8th. Philip Kuhnhardt will be up 10 places to 9th. Kartik Pai didn't have the best final lap there. He finishes in 10th.
Yep, and then we go to the next page in the results. You find Timothy Reed in 11th place, Sean Langton in 12th, Ross Banfield dropping all the way down to 13th there in the end. Daniel Cranef was 14th, and Alessandro Parigi in 15th, looking to improve his place on those F2 standings. Tyler Green 16th, and you got Jarrett Lee, Ryan Turcott, Kevin Parrish, and Barry West, who was so much on our screens, finishing in 20th position, in case somebody was wondering.
Yeah, one more page, of course. David Valero will be 21st, with Jean-Francis Busquets in 22nd. Luis Bratusik managed to not have a good recovery, finished 23rd off that lap 1 incident. Javier Mosquera had a lot of issues out there today with hardware. He finished at 24th. Then it's the retirees. Mitchell Ian Gray retired a bit early, 25th. Tobias Naharo finished as well in 26th. Daniel Gallas will be 27th. Jason Clapper, didn't see him. He tried his last 2 wherever he could. 28th today. James Powelson will be 29th. Pablo Dozel will be 30th, the last of the drivers in this top split. I promise I have got my voice back. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, because we do have some interviews, and it's only fair to start with the winner. It is Pauli Partanen. And the first thing I've got to ask, did you say anything that was broadcastable after the race? Because I know what happened at Road America.
Yeah, it was not broadcastable at all. So sorry about that. Oh, what a race, what a race. This was amazing.
Absolute fantastic race there. We'll talk about the finish in a moment, but we've got to talk about that whole procedure because this is such a high-speed track with slipstreaming. Was there any strategy in play here, or were you just deciding if I'm fast enough, I'm going to go for the overtake? Because it looked like there was no waiting there for you. It was just, if I'm fast, I'm going for it.
Yeah, well, I have won like 4 races here now, and with every race it was kind of the same thing, that I'm just trying to read a bit about the other guy that I'm racing against, and usually I have just stayed behind and tried to be the second car on the last lap, because that's actually my tactic. I don't want to be the first car on the last lap, and it happened again, and I was able to pull up the overtake. It was super good overtake, and yeah, super happy about it. Everything went like I planned it to happen.
Did it really? Come on, let's talk about that final corner, because you had to take that around the outside. Was that really how you planned it? Because I don't think anyone expected Togo to make such a late braking there. Come on, be honest.
Yeah, well, I know Togo. I knew he will do it. Like, he has done it in past. He's super aggressive at the end of the race, and he does always very late braking. But he's still very respectful and clean driver. I don't mean it a bad way, but I knew that he will do it, and yeah, actually that was my plan, to be on the outside, because last time I was racing here we had the same kind of thing, that the difference was actually 0.02 when I last raced here, and I won Jukka back then, and it was the same thing. I wanted to get the outside because you get more grip to the finish line. So yeah, it was all planned.
It was all planned. I've got to ask though, before we say goodbye. 2 weeks ago you said you're getting older. You said they're catching you. Well, I know you're laughing. Last week they weren't catching you. This week they were with you all the time. When do you think that it's going to end? Because you're 3 for 3 this season. I can't remember the last time a driver's won the first 3 races of the season. When do you think that winning streak's going to end? And don't say next week at Spa.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I had a feeling last week also, because I lost the pre-broadcast race, and this week also because the previous race Togo beat me like 100-1, so I don't really feel like I'm winning races, but I don't know. Somewhere I always get that last tiny bit of space on the broadcast, and or Togo loses it. I don't know which one is happening, but yeah, it's been a good season, and yeah, I can hope that I can keep up with this, but. Honestly, Togo has been always faster than me. Like, every race he had more pace, but I'm just being able to do that tiny bit more on the crucial laps.
Well, before we let you go, because I know you're going to get a rest because you've done 2 races already today. Any shout-outs for the day for you?
Well, first of all, a crazy finish, Togo. Like, that was super amazing. Like, I on my screen I was second when I look at it, and I was like, oh, did I really lose it? And yeah, to see myself at the top, it felt good, and you are a really good driver and very clean driver, so I really respect you, and And it was fun to battle with you, and I really hope we had the same kind of things next week. And thank you for Kim also. He gives me company every race and this race also. So we had a laugh during the race when the long straights were a bit dull. So we were chatting and having fun. So thanks Kimmo, and thanks you guys. You have very good broadcasters this season, and I'm waiting to see it after this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Polly. By the way, for those wondering, Kimo had to deal with a very excited Finishman after Road America. Pretty sure it was not so excited last week after the win. Pauli Partanen, your winner today, and that will do it for him. And Ozzy will be alongside P2, who just finished second. It's Togo Hisada with Volti Bahaka.
Yep, I got Togo Hisada here on the pit lane with me, and Togo, man, 14 1,000ths of a second. It can't get closer than that.
Yeah, that's Monza thing. Yeah, I have a confidence to block Pauli on the last lap on the chicane, but yeah, his brake is amazing. He passed me from the outside. Then just only I can do is just attack him, try to scare him, and dive the out inside or outside, whatever. But the last parabolica, he's very wise, because he's blocking the outside. In the parabolica is very strong acceleration from the outside. So that I wanna dive outside, but he's there. So I have no choice. So dive inside and try to accelerate as fast as I can. But it's not enough.
When I will not lie, Togo. When I saw you go for that move to the inside, my first thought at that point, watching from the commentary booth, was Gernot is going to win this race. So, what is it? Do you have some sort of brake magic? Is it a setup thing? Is it your experience from Lotus 49 and the Nissan that allows you to brake so late and get away with it?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what brake balance is its best. For the league, for the whole week, I'm searching, and I'm changing brake bias corner by corner. So every corner I change the brake bias, and the last down is 44.5%. Yeah, for me it's the best brake bias. Yeah, 43 for the chicanes, and that's it. Yeah, so I change the brake bias and the dive.
Okay, so that explains it. That explains why you're able to optimize it so well. Okay, we're gonna be next week at Spa-Francorchamps, another legendary circuit standing there on the echelon of the great circuits of the world. So, Togo, next week, are we going to see you finally beat Pauli?
Yeah, I wish. I wish, yeah.
Well, he says he's getting older, but he's obviously lying. So you're gonna need to find something, and I wish you good luck for that search. I wish I had any tips to give, but I'm long past my prime. So Togo, if there's any shoutouts, anyone you would like to thank, then feel free to do so.
Yeah, at first, Global Sim Racing broadcasting team. Thanks for this. It's such a great broadcast every week. And the Lotus 79 communities, and of course the Pauli Partanen.
Yeah, thank you, Togo, and congratulations for the second place.
Thank you.
Well, that was Togo Hisada with Ozzy, and we'll be able to get a couple quick interviews in. Well, we got to talk to P3, of course. It was Gunnar Frischer who is with me right now. And Gunnar, what else is needed? Because these two were just a cut above everyone, but you were matching them without any slipstream today.
Yeah, to be honest, I was a little bit surprised to be that close in pace, because I looked quite a bit slower in the races before, so for whatever reason I was close on this one. Otherwise I was in no man's land, because after the first the first lap, we already had a little bit of a gap after fighting with JDS in the beginning. So I knew it would basically be a fight for third position for me in the end.
Yeah, once you got past JDS, that was it, and you're able to keep on top. But it must be hard, though, when you're just in that bubble racing yourself. You know you can just catch them, and the finish was 1.5 seconds. Do you think if there was a couple more laps, you may have caught them?
I was hoping for them to start battling a little bit early, but of course they saw the gap to me, and they behaved and tried to keep the gap until the finish. So basically was just too far behind. If they would have started battling earlier, maybe with a draft, I could have had a chance for an attack, maybe.
Before we let you go, Spa next week, do you think you might have an edge you might be able to catch with these two? Because it feels like it's a three-horse race for the championship between all three of you right now.
Probably not. I have to say that both Pauli and Togo are just one step ahead of everyone else, and yeah, also they do really a great show lately. So huge congrats to them, and I don't think I will be really fighting for a win there. But yeah, you never know.
You never know when you're a former four-time champion, going up Frisha there, who finishes P3 for the day. And thank you very much for coming on board. One more interview, and it's only fair. We gave a lot of airtime for this. It's only fair. Ozzy is going to be talking with the legend himself. Ozzy is side by side with Barry West.
Yeah, just a quick correction: 14-time, not four-time champion Gernot. And but yeah, Barry West. We saw you a lot on screens. I've known you a long time from this series. We saw you battling for positions. I think you went up to 16th or something at some point. You ended up in 20th position, exactly where you started. But most important thing, I think you had some fun. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did. It was really good up until I lost P16. Tyler, I was on the back of him and forced him into a mistake, and he made the mistake at not Ascari, Delawagia, and he had a slow down, and then he fought the next corner, which made me have to go give him room and go wide, and lost the position there to I think it was Alex, and then Kevin was. I was faster than them, but I just couldn't get past. But yeah, it was just frustrating towards the end. But the first 14, 16 laps were good.
Yeah, and it was a lot of battling, a lot of side by side through the slow corners. Gonna ask you a bit of a different question because we saw most of your race and would love to hear your thoughts about them later. But first of all, well, due to the time constraints of this broadcast, I'm gonna ask you a simple thing because you've been here for a long time. I think you've been racing in this series for 12 or 13 years now, or something like that.
I think
what
so, yeah.
would you say to anyone who watched this race on iRacing's official channel and is thinking about racing the Lotus 79? What would be the thing that you would say to a newcomer in this series?
Try it. Just come and try it, because it's such a large group of people now. I mean, it's been quiet in the past. I've never been up the front, but you don't need to be up the front to have fun. Yeah, it's a great championship, and there's a few championships right in. You can get a free livery if you get the CTC championship. There's so much fun to be had, as you can see from the broadcasts.
Well, Barry, we're going to be next week at Spa. Will you be there as well?
Oh yes.
Absolutely. Would love to see you there. Love to see you there, Barry. Thanks ever so much for the interview, and congratulations for a great race.
See you, Otty. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was Barry West. That was always good to hear from Barry West as we end it off for another fantastic week out there today. So once again, I want to give a thank you to the team that is behind me. Well, beside me as well, because look, there he is. There is Ozzy beside me. Thank you once again to Ozzy, and thank you to Daniel on the cameras and Dougie Beard, of course. If you like what you see, please give a subscribe, a thumbs up to the iRacing channels, and don't forget to check out the Global Sim Racing channel. As we were saying, next week is Spa. I can't be here, sadly, but I will be here in spirit watching the drivers, as it's going to be a fantastic race. Same time, and it will also be here on every iRacing platform, the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitch. It will all be here, so do not miss that out, because once again, Pauli Partanen is free for free. Togo Husada, he gets closer, he gets closer, he gets closer It's not happening yet. Something's got to give. When will it give? Is it next week at Spa? We cannot wait to bring it to you. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.
This is iRacing.